Women's power to heal Mother Earth. This is Maya Tiwari. A happy and blessed New Year to all. We're coming into a magnificent time. Let us take a deep breath and let us lengthen our stride into this powerful time of a new year that brings us hope. Although Reformation, it is a dramatic turn from the past few years, according to both Eastern and Western astrologers. We're stepping into a time of great transformation and change, that this has been happening ceaselessly for the past 2 years, at least. On January 2nd, 2022, we begin this new year with the new moon. In fact, it would not be the first new year that begins with the new moon in Capricorn. But this time, it is profoundly different what we are about to experience. So we can afford to take, such a deep breath and such a sigh of relief. Because the events, according to the planetary influences, are going to embrace us in a very different way, in a gentler and more loving way, depending, of course, on our own transitions in our karmas, our own birthrights, our own purpose, and how far along we have come with these precarious and often arduous exercises. This new moon begins the cycle of 29.5 days according to Western calendar, and it represents a period of new beginnings where we can set our intentions firmly into the fodder of our own spirit. This time around, the intentions will take wings because not only is the new moon in the Capricorn energy of structure and discipline and resourcefulness, but we are also going to be influenced by Uranus, as she is juxtaposed to the new moon. Uranus is considered the awakener in the planetary language, and she is beaming with support for this new moon in the way that she is configured in the skies at the moment. If we were to look at Vedic astrology and astronomy, we're told that the new moon is Amavasya, meaning no moon day or new moon day. No moon day is really the dark moon. The day after is new moon day. It marks the beginning of the bright fortnight of the lunar month. We call it Shukla Paksha. As per Vedic tradition, this new moon, and like all new moon, bear a profound impact on our lives as we observe certain austere sadhanas or rituals or practices. One, of course, to appease ancestors and honor them, and the other is to hold the self-sovereignty at its highest plinth. We have to take into consideration ourselves as we go forward on a very personal basis. During the new moon, so many integrations occur. Everything becomes well-paced, slower-paced. And the practices that we are called to do has to do with reflection, digging deeply into the spirit of things to see where we're at and how we have become the way that we are. The good news, it is time to cast aside the sadness, the tears, and the grief that we have all been experiencing at many different levels in the last many years, for me 11 years. Whatever evil darkness has beset the world in this period of time, we can now break through into the light by shining our own inner illumination so brightly that it dispenses with the external darkness. It also eliminates the internal darkness. It's a beautiful thing to consider as to what happens at the time of the dark moon into the new moon. It is the opposite of the waxing cycle. In this waning cycle, we're looking at events that are deeply aligned with the greater universe. This phase represents the transition from the physiological world to the psycho-spiritual world. And the events that occur here embody the intersection of our past and our future. It is always awesome and shocking at the amount of significant influence that the past bears on our present lives. But those of us who are celebrating birthdays during the new moon understand that your mystical ability is ever so much more heightened. And for all of us, whether we're celebrating our birthdays at this time or not, we are going to be entering a highly intuitive time where we can perceive what had been shadowed for us for so long, where we can take the blinders off the eyes, and we don't do that. The universe is doing this. The rose glasses, the blinders, the whatever, so that we can begin to see more clearly. And that is a magnificent gift to have, because seeing truth, knowing truth, is far better than not knowing. It is far better than being confused. It is far better than living in the mix of chaotic madnesses. And so basically, truth. However difficult it is always to face truth, we must. But we'll be given the embrace of Neptune, of Pisces, of the Uranian energy, of Capricornian energy. Capricornian energy to stabilize us, Uranus energy to heighten us to the skies, to the brilliant open sky where falling stars occur, where the rainbow begins, emerge, and ends. This is our year for 2022. Be prepared. Be prepared to be relieved. Be prepared to just be in the awe of it all. And yes, it is the human nature for us to go through our painful cycles, or sufferings, or griefs, sadness, and oceans of tears. But I believe that we will have a reprieve, a long and enduring reprieve, as January 2nd, 2022 begins. And in this story of the dark moon, what we see in this beautiful stories that is told in the Vedas of our entire reality, of the cosmic anatomy and how the lunar and solar dance work together. The great mother Lalita Maha Tripura Sundari, whose abode is in the moon, who takes care of the Kala Chakra of time, who pervades the entire universe, is the substance, the content, and the absolute awareness of it all. During her emanations, she's put forth 15 nityas, each considered to be a ray, an emanation of her own ray, with their own impeccable Shaktified force for the divine feminine. And at the dark moon, each one from the 15th Nitya, consecutively counting down to the first Nitya, each day, each night, they leave their abode of the moon and journey to the sun. And the moon becomes darker, and so darker, till each of the 15 Nityas over a 15-night period resort for a reprieve, to re-energize, to re-glow their Shakti energies, where they receive the blessings of Surya, of Mitra, our friend, the sun. And so, this is the time when we too must fold within into the deep recesses of our own spirit and reclaim all that is the gem of our human incredible nature of awareness, of Sat, of Chit, of Ananda, of this consciousness that has always been intertwined with each other. Oh, it is such a reprieve for me after 11 years of intense darkness, of being put upon by some of the most violent and vile activities and onslaughts, to admit, to know, and hopefully in 2022 to fully embrace that each of these evil things and evil, dishumanized, disjointed acts of evil and darkness also belongs to the continuum of our consciousness, needing to be embraced. As difficult as that is when we are outraged by human actions, the truth remains that we are all connected. And so as the Nitya make their journey into the sun, it is what we call the waning cycle of the moon, the 29.5 days. And this energy of their retreat gives us that incredible solidity, that absolute coming together within ourselves, the collecting and gathering of our own soul, spirit, body, mind, family into that place of inner ease. This is where inspiration is born, like the bear that is huddled in the winter snow, in the deep forest of winter snows. Here too, we can reach to climb within for creativity because a deeper understanding arouses. We may finally have that moment where we can forgive, where we can embrace, where we can put the past to rest, although it reoccurs over and over and over. I often wondered how it is that we are meant to resolve something that is not just in the past but continues to happen relentlessly, as in my experience of the last 11 years. I often wonder how the human spirit can transcend such assaults when the past and the now are so linked together, are so glued together by activities that continue 24/7 without reprieve. But I understand that it forces us deeper into the greater embrace of spirit. Because at the physiological level, whatever is happening, and however forcibly and relentless it is, however ceaseless the violence of it all, it does push us deeper into spirit, where we find reprieve, where we see our own light, where illumination is always there, it's perennial. And so, as we step in to this awesome year Let us try to untether from the present time into the deeper presence of 2022. Understanding this evolution that the Nitya of our great goddess moon teaches us. Understanding this evolution for preserving the light in our universe, we're open to continually learn and relearn our own cosmic nature steeped in the exquisite glow of the moon and the grandeur of the sun. As women, we have the power to receive, amplify, and give back. This is our cycle, the waning moon cycle, of increasing our self-appreciation and finding deeper connection to our own sensuality, our own creativity, our own inspiration, and our Shaktified field. Being in tune with our rhythms and how they mirror the Great Mother Moon, strengthens our inner guidance and our sense of trust. So much around us can defeat our trust, as in my case. So many human activities can dull the senses and make us forget for some time, who we truly are. But as we enter and dive deeper into spirit, and we thank them for forcing us there too, we can tap into everything that is the goddess within ourselves. In this restful reprieve of the new moon, especially this particular new moon that has the Capricornian, Uranian, and also Piscean energies all in this glorious mix that exposes the incredible open skies to us. Let us hold the intention to make us softer, gentler, kinder human beings, men and women, nurturing. Let us look back a little bit on the time that we're just coming out of. We're just rising from the inured detritus of smoke and mirrors and convolutions and shadows. And if we are to look back there, let us understand that it has made us more outreaching in compassion than we would normally have been. So there too is a massive thank you. When we embrace the divine feminine nature of our mother, of our earth, of our world, of our universe, and of each of our own self, women, men, children, every species on our earth, we're increasing our nurturing qualities, our understanding. There's a receptivity and an openness to this type of energy. Magnetically, we can attract what we want. But I'll be talking about that later, because we do not individually create our own reality. That is not so. It is one of the New Age myths that we must demystify and put an end to such lies, because basically there is a collective energy always that is playing into our lives and our karma. And although the lessons coming to us are only ours to learn and to forge through, circumstances created around us are never of only the individual creation. And I want you to know that, because understanding and believing some of these delusional myths only set us back further in our journey through pain, through suffering, through hardships, through obstacles to make it into the light again. To quote a contemporary astrologer, her work is called Astro Butterfly. Let me indulge a little bit into the astrology of what both Eastern, the Vedic astrologers, the Jyotishas, and the Western astrologers are saying. So Astro Butterfly tells us that the two major aspects in 2022 are Jupiter conjunct Neptune in Pisces and the North Node conjunct with Uranus in Taurus. Okay, so it doesn't matter if we understand that. But what she's actually saying is that Jupiter conjunct Neptune is one of the most exquisite aspects that we can hope for in the astrological realm. Because Jupiter is the great guru in the understanding of all of Guru, the teacher of our universe, the master. And it is always beneficent. It is the sign of its own, and it's in the sign of its own home, its own domicile in Pisces, which brings even a more phenomenal positive influence to us. And Neptune is also in the home of Pisces. And to have both of these two planets rule Pisces in conjunction really is, it's almost the impossible dream. And so let us look forward. Let us look forward to this serendipitous time, this awakening, this breath of new light as we've tunneled through and ferret our way through the impossible darkness. Thank you for listening, and peace be your journey.